Now, our next speaker joins us from Sullivan, Maine. And let me say something. There's something definitely happening in the state of Maine. Our brother Troy Jackson is running for governor. The president of the Maine State Building Trades is running for the House. And our next speaker, Graham Platner, is running for the United States Senate. Graham has crisscrossed the state, holding over 50 town halls and listening to the concerns of Mainers from all walks of life, with a message that speaks to the needs of working people. He's a Marine and Army veteran, an oyster farmer, and running to win back the Senate seat for working mariners. And he is the Building Trades Council endorsed candidate in his race. Brothers and sisters, please join me in welcoming Graham Platner.
Good morning, NABTU. First, I want to say thank you to President McGarvey, Secretary Treasurer Bishop, the Governing Board of Presidents for having me here, and thank you to all the affiliates and the members that are here this morning. Special thanks to my escort, led by Jason Shedlock, President of the Maine State Building Construction Trades Council, who is stepping up to run at the state level. I won't address you as brothers and sisters, but I am a proud union spouse. My wife, Amy, along with the rest of the campaign team, are unionized with IBEW Local 1837. According to IBEW, it was the fastest contract negotiation in the history of the union, which we are very proud of. So hello, NABTU. As many of you know, I'm Graham Platner from Sullivan, Maine. I'm running for Senate in Maine to defeat Susan Collins and win back this seat for working Mainers. But I am not a politician. After 4 infantry tours and a stint working for the State Department, I moved back home just a few doors down from the house where I grew up in, and I started to work on an oyster farm. Until recently, I really did think that harbor master was going to be the extent of my political career. It is surreal and truly an honor to be up here this morning. I grew up in rural Maine. It's a hard-scrabble place. Working multiple jobs, seasonal jobs, that's just the way of life. Where I grew up, you could dig clams in the summer, plow in the winter, and send your kid to college. You could have just one job, and if you worked hard, you could raise a family. But hard work is not enough anymore. But my friends and neighbors, they didn't stop working hard. In fact, they're working harder than ever. And yet they are choosing between gas and groceries, not knowing if you can provide for your elderly parents or your young children, spending half your paycheck on health insurance, and when the day comes when you need it, an AI program denies your claim. having all your time and your energy stolen by a system that is rigged against you, aided and abetted by politicians who claim to represent you. For far too long, politicians in this country have waged a war against organized labor. Right-to-work laws, unchecked worker misclassification, an NLRB that doesn't enforce unfair labor practices, opposition to PLAs. Throughout this country's history, and certainly over the last 50 years, our political system has kneecapped labor. It has done so for the benefit of bosses and corporate power, and because establishment politicians know that democracy is strong when unions are strong. We need a new era in our politics. One where we have representatives who see strengthening labor as the core of their job. We must harness the full power of the federal government, not only to protect the rights that workers have fought so hard for, but to grow the power of organized labor in this country. We need to pass the PRO Act. We need to end right to work once and for all. We need to bust worker misclassification and break up corporate monopolies. We need to expand labor courts, strengthen apprenticeships, enforce Davis-Bacon, and add PLAs to every single dollar of federal spending. Now, we are told that this is fanciful. It's too expensive. It's going to stymie progress. And to that I say, bullshit. Guaranteeing dignity to working people is not some sideshow to policies. It must be central. Paying union workers a good wage to build our schools and our roads and our energy grids is the best possible way we could spend our money. Certainly better than giving tax breaks to billionaires or blowing up girls' schools in Iran. I am not interested in any kind of progress that does not materially improve the lives of working people in this country. Now, up in Maine, I'm running against two establishment politicians. One has fought tooth and nail against project labor agreements, has union busted public sector workers and left them without contracts for months and years, and has vetoed every single pro-labor bill that crosses her desk. The other one has confirmed decades of anti-labor nominees, opposes the PRO Act, and has personally handed tax breaks to billionaires at the expense of the rest of us. One is a Democrat, one is a Republican, and you can hardly tell which is which. In this country, regardless of party, showing up for working people has not been the priority of establishment politicians. We need to return to an era of Democratic representatives who believe the Democratic Party must be the party of labor. Who will not only show up to your meetings to ask for your support, but who will show up to fight for workers' rights on picket lines and on the floor of Congress. That's why I am proud to be endorsed by NABTU, alongside Troy Jackson, a building trades brother who has spent years in the Maine State House fighting for unions and working people. I know that I would not be here today if Troy had not spearheaded that fight for the past 2 decades. Let's give him a cheer loud enough that he can hear us up in Maine. And this is why I want to be a United States Senator. A senator for people who can't buy senators. I want all of you to have me on speed dial, and I want corporate lobbyists to talk to the interns. I know we can do this because we've done it before. We are not imagining the impossible. We are tapping into our legacies. I've been going around the state of Maine for the past few months, and I've been reminding people of a past that is too often forgotten. We did not get an 8-hour workday and a 40-hour work week because somebody wrote another letter to their congressman. We got it because workers fought for it in the streets, in the hills, and in the halls of power. They organized, they picketed, they struck, and they died, bringing about, for all its faults, the most equitable time of wealth distribution in this country's history. But we are a long way from there today. We have seen since Reagan broke PATCO a slow, steady march towards the world we find ourselves in now. Billionaires and bosses lining their pockets off of our back. Workers dropping dead in Amazon warehouses and nobody showing up to help. Union members being kidnapped off job sites by fascist masked ICE thugs. All of us living with the constant indignities, our wages stolen without accountability, of choosing between rent and heating and oil and groceries, of giving up the dreams of buying a house or sending our kids to college. This reality we're living in, it isn't organic. It isn't natural. This system we have, it didn't have to be this way. This is not the reality I spent 4 combat tours fighting to defend. We live in the outcome of policy, and we can change that policy and get a different result. But those abusing workers, profiting off our backs, they are not going to give it up without a fight. And in this time of unfettered corporate power and unfathomably concentrated wealth, we need every tool at our disposal and all the power we can muster. And the most powerful tool we have to build a better future, a stronger democracy, in a world worth living in for working people, that tool is organizing. Power comes from organized people or organized money, and the money is organized. So we're organizing people, our unions on work sites, our movement in communities, because down here in the real world, we all have the exact same needs. And fighting for those needs, arm in arm, I don't have to tell anybody in this room that it all comes down to building solidarity. Solidarity. Solidarity forever. Because in that solidarity is power. The power to stop pointing left and right and start pointing in the only direction that matters, which is up. In solidarity, we will win. But when we've won, when we've restored our democracy, when we've recovered our dignity, when we've protected our freedoms, this time it needs to be a different kind of freedom. Not merely a romantic freedom of protecting individual rights, but a freedom that is real, a freedom that is material, the freedom to have time, to have energy, the freedom to not live a life defined by anxiety and fear, to have a roof over your head, to have health care that doesn't put you in the poorhouse, the freedom to clock into a shift and know that you will return home safely, to live a secure life and send your kids off to receive a good education. The freedom to take risks, to make art, write a book, to fall in love, and to raise a family. The freedom to live lives not defined by struggle and scraping by, but of dignity and fulfillment. Thank you very much.